everyone, this is Tish Aitken, and I'm here to discuss the continuing theme of change, transformation, and hopefully enlightenment and progress that is occurring in the month of July with the major eclipses. We started the month, or we'll start the month, with a very potent eclipse in the sign of Cancer on July 2nd, a total solar eclipse. And these are in cardinal signs that are really action oriented, and it's honing in on this whole Capricorn tale that each of us has been working with since the end of 2017, when Saturn entered its rulership of Capricorn, where it will remain until December 17th of 2020. But now you add to the fact that since this spring, Saturn and Pluto have been moving very closely together. Pluto is the planet of transformation, it's death and rebirth, and the south node of karma, which we're meant to release and we're meant to let go of, and it can bring old karmic distant lessons for each of us. Now, with this particular eclipse, the eclipse falls at 24 degrees and 4 minutes of Capricorn, and it occurs at 5:38 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This eclipse is really, it's to me giving both it's looking back and it's looking forward, because now Saturn will be at 16 degrees of Capricorn. And if you look back to the beginning of the year, when the solar eclipse started the year on January 5th, it was at 15 degrees of the cardinal sign of Capricorn. So Saturn is honing in on what came up. Are you figuring out the lessons, the experiences that came into your life at that time? Are you working well with them? Saturn is retrograde until September. Do you need to restructure and review how you need to get a grip on this, really, you know? And with Venus is in Cancer, it's conjunct the North Node of Destiny. It's in the house of partnerships. That's lovely and very creative and about going towards the North Node, going towards love, but it's making an opposition to Saturn in Capricorn and to the South Node that's very closely conjunct Saturn. And so is there something you're letting go? Eclipses often do signify major beginnings and endings, and lunar eclipses in themselves tend to be more about breakups. But it could be more that there's a polarity within yourself that you're working on and figuring out a habit or a belief system that you're trying to eliminate. With this chart, Jupiter rules the chart because it has Sagittarius ascendant, so at least there's a hopefulness and kind of a dark, I will admit, a very intense chart. Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn and all this cardinal energy is not for the lighthearted. It's not light energy, but Jupiter is conjunct the ascendant exactly, and that helps to at least give optimism and expansion in a time where you need to figure out what you need to get together in your life. And you add to the fact that the moon is conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, which is the cosmic compost. It's eliminating things that are no longer working. There's definitely going to be loss and letting go and endings, but also beginnings, birthing and rebirthing a new part of yourself or of your experience. The other thing I think that's interesting is it definitely gives a foreshadowing and gives us a preview of next year, when the Capricorn story even, boosts up a few degrees, because starting next January, on the 12th of January, Saturn and Pluto are going to meet up at 22 degrees of Capricorn on January 12th. And Mercury will also be in Capricorn at 22 degrees. So that's the world axis. Anything at 22 of the cardinal signs is the world axis, and that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So if you have planets or angles between 19 and 25 degrees of the cardinal signs, you'll feel this the most strongly. But we're all going to feel it. We're going to see it with with government, with people in power, with corporations, because Capricorn rules all of these things. How are you using your power, or how are you being disempowered and not speaking up for yourself? Well, these might be big themes that come up for you. Saturn opposing Venus. Do you feel devalued, or is there a relationship that is no longer working, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship that you need to either really restructure or think about moving on from? And with this whole Capricorn convergence next year, we're also going to have planets going to 24 degrees of Capricorn. Saturn and Pluto meet up in January, but by February, both Pluto and Saturn will have reached 24 degrees of Capricorn, where this full moon eclipse is. And Jupiter also is going to join this party. It's going to enter Capricorn on December 3rd of 2019, and it'll be there through December of 2020. Jupiter's going to reach 24 degrees of Capricorn in April of next year. So, again, this is giving us a cosmic preview of what we're going to be working with very strongly the next year and a half. And Capricorn is really, are you working hard? Are you heeding the karmic lessons? Are you taking accountability? What do you need to restructure? What do you want in your life? I think that I'm seeing this more from this vantage that I always have felt that Jupiter is very much a manifesting planet, because it's about what you hope, what you want to magnetize, it's what gives you optimism. But Saturn is what makes things concrete, and it solidifies things. And in order to manifest, you have to be able to solidify. So I think that that's also big in this. So you work hard with this, and it's going to be heavy time. July, when eclipses happen, they are very frenzied and heightened periods. And I think certainly with a lunar eclipse, the moon is not, it's in its detriment in the sign of Capricorn. So it's not a very, it's not a very emotionally supported moon. But maybe it's that, again, you have to face things, and you need to purge things that aren't working. And you are going to see major transition and endings. You're going to see a lot of changes at work and things to deal with the Capricornian energy, which is corporations and big business. And I think structures coming down, structuring's collapsing in our lives, metaphorically and literally, but so that we can grow, so that we raise our consciousness, so that we carve a new story for ourselves and a new direction. Eclipses are very fated times, because the nodes of fate are at least within 17 degrees of the sun or the moon. The first eclipse in July is a total solar eclipse, so that's really powerful, but still the nodes of fate are closely aligned, and you're making fated choices during this time. Sometimes there are things that come out of the blue, and it's really how you react and how you decide to take action. What are your choices? What are the decisions you make? These can have long-lasting effect because of the Capricorn story and the Capricorn convergence that only heightens in 2020. So expect a really big summer, and use it wisely. It's not doom and gloom, but it is, if things have been swept to the side, you're going to have to face it. And I think it is for all of us about taking accountability. And I wish you a lot of luck with that, because it's not easy. So tap into Jupiter on the ascendant and have some hope. Take care. Thanks.